Buy a qualifying Intel product and get entered in the Intel Dynamic Ticket Giveaway for a chance to win great prizes. Visit intelgamingpromo.com to learn more. Welcome to my unboxing and overview of a couple of different products from ADATA. So these are both members of their XPG line, and I wanted to treat this video not just as another RAM unboxing, because let's face it, I've done enough of those over the years. It's RAM. It goes in your motherboard. More is more better. Usually. Anyway, the point of all of this is, why would you want different types of memory? So in front of me, with the easy open packaging, which I am still working on here, got my easy open packaging. There we go, that was easy. All right, I have two very, very different options that represent a lot of different aspects of the memory purchasing process. So right here, I have some more basic low-profile XPG modules. These ones are a 16 gig kit, so it's a 2x8 gig kit. That means it's optimized for dual channel operation on whether it's an Intel Z77 or Z87 platform or an AMD platform, so dual channel optimized. Number two is it's a high capacity kit, so that's high density memory modules. That usually means you're going to get, well, more capacity, which is great for things like video editing or rendering, particularly for like sort of light consumer or prosumer grade stuff, because this isn't like ECC registered or like workstation grade or anything like that. So it's going to be useful for applications where you need lots of RAM, but higher density modules tend not to be available at the same kinds of speeds as lower density modules. So latency is usually a trade-off. So that's that CL and then the series of timings after it is usually a trade-off with the frequency that it runs at. So if this runs at 1866 CL10, you can usually assume that's sort of equivalent in terms of performance to 1600 CL9 or something along those lines, but it depends on whether the application likes more bandwidth or likes lower latency, and that's something that you definitely want to shop for when you're looking at memory. These modules are also low profile, which can offer better compatibility with different coolers that can overhang the memory slots. So there you go. That's the summary of these XPG modules right here. 1866, 8 gig DIMMs, low profile, and high density. All right, now let's move on to these XPG modules. So these are more about the flashiness. So we got black PCBs, high profile spreaders that in theory will offer slightly better heat dissipation, but in practice it doesn't really make that much of a difference. It does reduce compatibility with larger air coolers that overhang the memory slots from time to time, although the heatsink manufacturers are working on making this less of an issue. But of course, if you're running water cooling, for example, then that won't be a problem. And these ones right here run at very high frequency. So these are 2.4 gigahertz memory modules at a cast latency of only 11. So the timings are not that much looser than that 1866 kit, making these pretty pricey memory modules. Now, with all of that said, the performance difference between the lowest end memory and the highest end memory is not that much for some people, and unless you're into the tuning and tweaking aspect, you might not find it worthwhile to spend a ton of money on very expensive memory, although we're going to have a follow-up video coming where we take this 2400 megahertz memory, run it at a bunch of different speeds, particularly in gaming applications, and find out exactly how much of a difference it makes, because right now I can't quantify it, but that'll be coming soon. It definitely looks better, especially if you color match with your motherboard. In this case, we've got an Asus Z87 Deluxe that I think it happens to look particularly ravishing in, and I think that pretty much covers it. So the main things you're looking for, guys, are, is it optimized for the right number of channels for your system? What capacity do you need? What speed do you need it to run at? And make sure you check those latency timings, because the higher they are, the more it might negate any benefit you're getting from the higher clock speed of your memory. And it can be quite difficult for your CPU to run very high clock speed memory, particularly on last generation Intel platforms such as Ivy Bridge, or even on Haswell when you're running at very high CPU frequencies. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you hated it, or even disliked it just a little bit, and leave a comment and let me know what you thought.